Hi guys, Artiar here. So I fully maxed out Yeli currently in game. Alright, so you can see the skill up here is 455 because I don't really think the 30%, the 10% extra chance to steal the buff really necessary. So I already fully maxed her out. Alright then, so in today's video, I'll be showing you exactly how I built her and where I've been using her as well, what kind of content, and my honest thought, like after maxing out Yeli, do I regret or is it totally worth it? Alright, so I'll go over what kind of content she shines in and compare with other DPS, for example Zyada. I think it's the closest one to actually compare with, and why her universal element, which is the constant here, might be actually her biggest selling point. Alright, let's go into it. So currently, you can see this is my build here with Revelation, and then the skill is 455. Module here, I have two set for Yeli currently. So this one here is more towards speed. While I want to build her slightly faster, then this is the set because I'm going with Swift Rate here, and Momentum and Onslaught. So some attack boost, and then some crit rate and damage increase. So why I go for Onslaught is because for the Revelation Shell, the more attack I have, then the more damage the Revelation can actually do. So actually I can make her slightly higher DPS is due to this effect accuracy. I try to roll it off, but I can't. Alright, I can't get a better crit damage. So for now, I just build with effect accuracy, then 30% attack here and 5% final damage too. So the module here, this is for the fast set, and then I have the other set is this one here. It's more towards attack with Fury H. So let me take a look here. So another Revelation, Fury, Keen Eye, and Fury H is going for attack 18%, 29% crit damage, and 8% final damage. So different content because this one here, the speed is slightly lower, but in terms of DPS output, this one will be slightly higher. So for those content, I want her to be slightly faster. I'll be going for the second set. Then for this set here is more mainly if I want Yeli to do more DPS, because for H here increase a little bit more crit damage, but I lower down the effect accuracy. So I have two set, different content. Okay, so let's say I go back with the faster set. Okay, slightly faster speed and higher accuracy. So accuracy here will slightly help for the defense break and also for the buff steal. But overall, after I max her out, right, so you can think her of like Zyada. So Zyada here is also a AoE damage that have defense break. If you max out Zyada, the defense break is 60% chance, while Yeli one is 50% chance. But Yeli defense break here is every single hit, which means every 3 hit here, I have a 50% chance to land defense break. So I actually have a higher chance to land defense break compared with Zyada. Okay, but Zyada here have the passive here that can actually increase her attack and also increase her crit damage, and not to mention can reduce her maximum CD down to 1 turn. So if you involve 3 times of the flame, you can basically spam her AoE. So in terms of AoE damage, consistent wise, Zyada actually does a better job in terms of AoE, alright? But in terms of universal, because the only winning part of Yeli, to be honest, is actually because she's constant. Because she's constant, so she's universal to able to fit in any kind of content. Alright, so let's say the current content I'm using, you can use it at Terramaton, but currently I'm using DOT team, so I'm not going to use it at Terramaton. For Doki, I'm actually using Yeli a lot, and it's actually doing a very good job. Okay, but the position in this team can actually be replaced with Zyada. Alright, Zyada can replace this position easily, just that Yeli makes it a little bit more consistent due to higher DPS. Okay, because Zyada needs a little bit more time to buff up her skill to actually does the massive AoE damage, right? Alright, so at the start, just bubble up first, then Kazuyo will just sleep them. Alright, then Lily will buff up my Yeli. Then Yeli will cast S3 and do massive amount of damage due to the S3 and also defense break. So at the start, like this kind of method, right, is actually more consistent of defense break because of the 3 hit, and then now Remoka will take an action and then we'll just like one shot them. Splash. Alright, then we'll go to wave 2. Then Kazuyo with the Codex of Magic will S3 and sleep them again. Right, buff up, reset Yeli's skill. Then Yeli will cast another Revelation. Then do another defense break, AoE damage as well. Then S1 Pursuit will kill someone. Then Remoka will follow up damage to kill one of them. But S1 unit did not sleep just now. Right? So this like, but you know that this team here, actually Yeli position can be easily replaced by Xiada. Just that it probably need a little bit more time for Xiada to charge up her skill, but that's all, right? Because they are doing kind of doing the same job, which is abusing the revelation damage to them, while Xiada need a bit of the warm up time to slowly stack up her evolution soul. To stack up that, not only can spam more S3, then Yeli one is instantly at the start able to spam that. Then, but if Xiada can stack up this thing, then Xiada is actually doing a better job or probably similar job. Alright, so this is the Doki Doki team I'm currently using. Then I'm also using her at Aurora as well. I'm not using her at Inferno Aurora yet. I can clear Inferno Aurora, but it's a bit RNG because I need Lingluo here to have a better skill upgrade, to have the wave prayer for 2 turns, to have a better RNG. So for now, I can consistent clear Hell 4 very easily by using Yeli just to nuke them. So, and also Yeli is actually pretty universal, that are able to use all in the shell boxes. Like for example, Nico Nana, you'll see player using Yeli here. But do you really need Yeli to build in this content? Not really. You can actually use Rosa. You see, the time is no difference, right? It's still 18 seconds. You can use Rosa easily. You don't have to go for Yeli. Sharon here, I'm also using Sharon, Yeli to clear Sharon. But if you look, okay, you can see everyone is using Yeli here for the fast clear. But if you look at the recent clear, you don't really need Yeli because you can actually use the thing to single target on Sharon boss. Then for Ho Yen here, I'm using DOT team, and probably not no one is actually using Yeli here, but everyone is using DOT. Then for Rengokutsu here, you will still see player using Yeli to fight Rengokutsu. So overall, Yeli is a very universal animus that can fit in almost every single content, including like Cage Rumble as well. If you look at the leaderboard, there are player using Yeli for Sharon. Alright, Sharon. Some player use Yeli at the Nico Nana as well, like Sharon here. Sharon. So overall, in my opinion, is Yeli actually good? In my opinion, yes, Yeli is good, but do you actually need to summon for her? In my opinion, no. Just skip Yeli, in my opinion. Like, just invest the Lattice on Xiada is even better. If you want single target DPS, you go for Rosa. If you want AoE DPS, you go for Xiada. Then Yeli is kind of like both built in, but very high investment, because you need to actually max out the S2. This must be maxed out for the full upgrade, and then the main DPS output from the S1 you need to skill up as well, and then you need the S3 to spam the CD down. So in terms of free-to-play friendly, I would say Xiada is actually a much better choice. But if you went for Yeli, then the Xiada usage is actually lower down, because they work almost the same thing, while Yeli actually does slightly better. But in terms of like Infinity Train or wave content, Xiada will outshine Yeli. Okay, and also want to include some PvP showcase as well, because she's also doing a pretty good job in PvP. So let's say this battle record here. Alright, so this battle record here is more like a tanky team here. Yeli can't really one-shot them, but all thanks to Yeli assist damage. After a critical hit, there's always a chance to assist another S1, right? So the assist S1 here actually helped Yeli to bypass the Valerian's the cheat death mechanic, and also not to mention that the debuff, right? So Yeli here, when she can S3, she'll dispel every single debuff, so she won't get debuffed by claws damage reduction. And then with the S1, keep on proccing, it can actually shot through the Valerian's bubble. Like usually if you are your single target hit damage, if you kill that target, then the Valerian will just help shift death, and then the target won't die, right? So with Yeli here, the assist S1 can actually bypass that, because can keep on shooting until the target, not until the target die, depends on your luck. And she does a very massive DPS. We can find the other showcase, like how she actually performed like one-shotting. So let's say something like this. So as long as you outspeed, right, then Lily just buff up Yeli, then Yeli is just gonna one-shot them with the S3. Alright, Kazuya is gonna sleep them. Then Yeli is gonna cast S3 and just do massive amount of damage. Nuke, and then we just left a little bit HP here. Alright, so basically that's it. So Yeli just acts like a DPS, but it's pretty good for almost PvE and PvP. So my conclusion after fully building Yeli and testing out her, I will say she's definitely an amazing DPS unit, very consistent, very strong, and her universal element makes her very flexible at being able to almost every content. But is she a must pull? Not really. Alright, there are a lot other units that can do a similar job. She's just slightly better than the others just because she's lack of element that's disadvantage. Like if you're using Zyada, probably when you're fighting holo content like Sharon, you're not able to use Zyada, but Yeli is able to do that, something like that. So if Yeli is actually not a constant unit, she actually fails off very badly because we have other replacement, right? So if you have already a solid damage dealer, if you have already invested into Zyada, then I will not recommend you to build Yeli at all. But if you want a really reliable, easy to slot in DPS, very brain dead, that able to fit in any kind of team due to his element, due to her element, then you can build Yeli if you haven't invested into Zyada. Like after I invested into Zyada, I can't really use her in other content because most of the places where I want to use Zyada is because of the revelation. Yeli already fit into that slot. Unless it's an Infinity Train content, probably Zyada still shines more. Alright, so that's on my own take after maxing out Yeli. Last thing again, don't build her if you already have built Zyada, or else you kind of wasted the lattice. You really need a lot of lattice to build her up. Alright, let me know in the comment section if you have her, have you ever tried her yet, or you're still holding out for other banner. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Sky Elk, Trekcan, thank you so much for your support. And for the supporter or patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwaltz, Rimu, Choni, Antonio Winterspoon, Rocco Stenzions, thank you so much for your support. And also special thanks to the Super Tanks MVP, HMZ Rings, thank you so much for your support. Special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest tag. Thank you so much for Code Wilderness, Calamity, Agni, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Choni. Thank you so much for your support.